Lucky Lefty Podcast. What's good?
We're here.
Brought to you by Onora Whiskey, OnoraWhiskey.com, that premium American whiskey, OnoraWhiskey.com. And if you drink, by all means, make sure that you do so.
Responsibly.
You got to do it responsibly. We're about to talk quarterbacks, preview them for the spring. How good can this Notre Dame offense be? And what is the ceiling for Sam Hartman? Heck, Jack Cohn came here and lit it up.
Lit
You
it
know,
up.
if you compare him to his seasons at Wisconsin. So, and he's pretty successful. He won 10 games. Sam Hartman, should that be 10 games, 3,600 yards left? Should we consider that the floor for Sam Hartman coming to Notre Dame? We'll talk about it. Don't forget, CFB Nation exclusively, Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Lock in with us. We're going to put the link to that in the chat all during the show to make sure that you can lock in. YouTube, thumbs up, smash it. Helps with the views. We thank you for getting us to 3,800 subscribers. It's because of you guys. And if a couple of you guys want to drop off like you did last night because you don't like what we say, we're fine with that. We're going to be who we are. We're going to be as ethnic, as direct, straight to the point, and as honest about Notre Dame football as we always are, because we're the home of the misguided passion. It's the Lucky Lefty Podcast. You already know we spin it different. So, Left, previewing the quarterbacks. Sam Hartman does some things. He creates 1,000-yard receivers, which he did 6 times at Wake Forest.
6 times. That's hey, what they say, you got to do it more than once to show consistency, right?
Mm-hmm. He's efficient. Interception prone, maybe. Depends on your point of view.
He knows who he is, though, as a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
He's not a guy that you're like, he's going to look like Johnny Manziel with us or try to, go outside of his realm of what he's comfortable with. I think he's at the age where he's like, listen, this is what I'm good at. This is what I'm not good at. If I don't got protection, it's going to be a rough day for me. I'm going to get a little wild with the football. Fortunately, the things that he's lacking, Notre Dame is boosted in. We're going to have a line for you. We're going to give you some time. Now, are the receivers going to get open this year? That's where the release packages we had talked about last year, where it comes into effect. Are we going to have younger guys get opportunities? Because now with a veteran quarterback, I can throw a Tobias. I can throw a Jayden Grayhouse in there for a couple series because I know if anything, Sam going to tell him where to line up. May throw it to him knowing the defense is putting the third best corner on a young superstar potential receiver. But we had the knowledge at the position where Sam's going to be like, look, that's a mismatch. Tobias is a mismatch. They focus on Jayden Grayhouse to the boundary. We got Tobias Merriweather to the field. That's one-on-one. So the what Jared Parker is now in a position to do is like, okay, how do I mastermind this thing? How do I spin this in the right way where everybody eats? Because this is an offense prone for everybody to eat. We don't have just one good thing, one good player. We got guys like Jadarian Price in the tank waiting. We don't know what his impact on the season is going to be. We got a healthy Chris Tyree in the slot this year. Nobody knows about. But I tell you what, Sam Hartman's going to lean on that because that's another fifth-year guy. He's what Avery Davis should have been for us before the injuries. Now you got an experienced slot guy, veteran outside with a little bit of youth. Tight ends are always strong. I mean, this is really gearing up to be a special offense that we haven't seen as the feature of the team since 2015. Even in 2018, the offense wasn't the feature of the team when we was undefeated. Hell, any playoff run that we've had wasn't an offensively led team. It was a support group. It was like Alcohol's Anonymous. We were just there just helping guys get through. We wasn't there to make an impact or win a game. We were just there not to lose it by a lot. This year, probably the first time in a long time where we're literally the driver of where this season goes. Not that the defense isn't going to hold its weight, but the offense is going to lead the team if we want to do the things we need to do. Because that's what wins college football championships is offense. Georgia scored 63 points in the championship game. Yeah, the defense was amazing, but 63 points, that's amazing. In the final game, you done battled all 15 weeks, you're tired, you're hurt, and you finished with 63 points. And could have put on more. I'm sure they probably could have set the record that will hard to be broken for a long time. I highly doubt we'll see another game where it's that much of a disparity. Because I'd have tanked some ratings now. TCU's a feel-good story, but Alabama should have been in that playoffs. just due to the fact that's the only team at that point that could have gave them a run for their money. Ohio State was a good matchup, but Alabama should have been in there off of just what they had, But with the new playoff structure, it don't matter. You got to run the gamut. It's a new season,
Interestingly, Wake Forest actually ran the ball up for 135 yards a game.
But you got to look at that too. Is that because they're like, for instance, that in the half?
No, I mean, they had 38 attempts for 135. The average wasn't great, but they ran the ball 38 times per game.
But with a guy like Sam Hartman, you got to find where those 38 came in spots. Or are they coming in the beginning of the game? They're coming in clutch time. They're coming to close a half, open the game, or there's many different ways, because you have to think about it for a quarterback like Sam Hartman, where the strength of the team is throwing the football. You don't have 6 receivers hitting 1,000 yards. 6 different receivers or same receivers?
6 different receivers.
6 different receivers hitting 1,000 yards. The strength of your offense. It better be the strength. Hell. So is the running coming in spurts? It could be like the Dallas Cowboys, where the run game look good on paper, but they're usually running because they're behind and then they're trying to catch up. And then, so the run game for us this year is about effectiveness.
Mm-hmm.
We could run the ball 12 times in a game, but it's going to be for 100 yards because they're playing so light in the box. We have to run. That's what we want. We want to be having to be in situations where we have to run because we're killing them on the outside. Not we're running the throw. We're throwing the run. That's, in my opinion, the mentality that we should go into the game, because we can fall back on the running game. If you want to make this offense look better and new and improved and different than last year, come out swinging. Come out on the offensive. You don't go get the number 1 quarterback in the transfer portal to play defense. If you telling your starter of the year before he even gets here that we coming to get a guy better than you for this passing game, then that needs to be the feature. That's just what it is. Feature the passing game, because we know for a fact if we have to turn around and hand that football off, that's 8 games we can win right there. If we can turn around and hand that football, that's 8 games. We might as well keep Tyler Buckner. We might as well keep Tyler Buckner if we looking to run going into the season as the feature or foundation of our offense. We need to. I don't mind us putting a lot on Sam, but Sam's a 5th-year senior. He should be all right, in my opinion. But Jared Parker's opportunity, we talk about that, is at a high level, man. I mean, you got everything you want in front of you. You got everything you're coming from last year. You've been in the building. That's a bigger advantage than any coach we could have gotten.
Mm-hmm.
You've been there. You in there. You know everybody we got, everybody we have coming in, and this, that, and the third. So it seems to be a better decision as weeks play out. At first, it's like, man, you did all that for the guy down the hallway. You should have da 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 da. But you going combing through it. They making the right moves in spring. They've been decisive to this point. They got the right coaches in the right spots for development, like the quarterback position, not only for this year, but moving forward with the young guys. Quarterback coach is actively involved in the right recruiting, knows how to recruit. I mean, these are positives for an offensive side. Obviously, my concern for the offense is you got all these two-way, 3, 4, 5 position players.
Mm-hmm.
It's never really happened in football before where you've had such a surplus of versatile players like this. So it's gonna come to a point where it's like, who's really good at doing what? It's one thing to have a guy that can do a lot of things. Got a Aeneas Williams, got a Rico Flores, got a Jaden Thomas. But when it's 3rd and 8, and we in the playoffs, and we need a post route.
Mm-hmm.
Not a handoff reverse, not a little dump off screen, not no if we getting double covered and we need a post route. Who's the best post runner? Period. Not the best athlete, not the best fastest dude. Who is the best post runner to get this touchdown? Because that's what it comes down to, the particulars, the details. Hell, I'm glad that we got guys that can play every position on the field. But where's the specialist at? That's how you get guys like Salerno and all these dudes sneaking up on the field, is because they are really good at this in and out route, really good at this 2 or 3 plays. So being a technician is going to be very important. Being defined, being modeled by Chancey Stuckey, being modeled by Dina McCullough. Sam Hartman modeling his receivers, training them up, getting the chemistry right with them. These are going to be the things that we have to see during camp, because now there is no looking over your shoulder. Sam Hartman, you the dude. We sink or swim, feast or famine. Are you the savior? No, but you're going to be a vital part. By doing your part, you can be Jack Cone 2.0 for this team. Because with Jack, we was back and forth with Jack. Put Tyler in for him and Tyler. Now it's just Sam. So it's the right attention, but man, it's going to be interesting to see how we allow Sam to be Sam and help this offense.
Interestingly, Left, I'm looking at these stats, Joe. Sam Hartman is coming to an offense that really fits this, maybe not stylistically, but the efficiency. Sam Hartman only threw the ball 50% of the time for Wake Forest.
Yeah.
Wake Forest ran the ball 49% of their plays last year, Left.
Yeah.
So a lot of people think Wake was an offense where Sam Hartman was having to carry the water. Of course, the rushing attack only averaged 3.4 yards per carry, but they stuck to the run. They truly did. They tried to be balanced, and they tried to set Sam Hartman in that passing game up. And he comes into a similar situation where Notre Dame doesn't feel the pressure to do anything other than what he's been doing, and have the run game be still a focus of that offense. And maybe the splits go up a little bit. Maybe they throw the ball 53 to 55%. But Notre Dame is going to run the ball. Yeah. And they're going to run it more effectively and more efficiently than Wake Forest was able to do. Now, Go ahead.
That balance is sort of what Tommy wanted last year. He wanted that balance. You look at the Clemson game, it was sort of trending towards what the ideal offense would look like. I mean, we had a very effective running game, Clemson game, but the passes balanced it out.
Mm-hmm.
They were passes more in big plays and in effective spots and big chain movers that we have. And Sam Hartman's is accustomed to more of that 50-50. Now, him being able to turn guys into 1,000-yard receivers, being a balanced offense, it proves that he can make the plays needed, and he has the experience to make it happen when his numbers called on. That's why we never looked at it like he was a Caleb Williams, where Caleb Williams is 80% of the offense.
Mm.
Sam's never been 80% of the offense. That's savior percentage. You a first round pick, you're 80% of the offense, just what it is. Everything's running through you. Sam being the player he know he is, he's not looking for no 80%. No, Sam, like, wait a minute. Don't put me in something where I gotta look like Peyton Manning. I'm just here to play my part, which is why he's a tier 3, tier whatever quarterback. Because if you give him enough, he'll make something out of it, similar to a CJ Carr. CJ Carr has more talent, in my opinion. But I'm not looking at CJ Carr like the number 1 pick of the draft and all of that from a talent perspective. You're not wowing me with his running out the pocket or crazy playmaking the bit. No. But if you put CJ Carr with Cam Williams, Tobias, put some Rico Flores in there, give him a running game, we talking something serious now. Give Kenny Minchie the same thing. So that's where, complementary football comes into play. Marcus Freeman talks about it. He's going to get a more balanced team overall. I think that's easier to manage when your defense can play off your offense and your offense can play off your defense. He can trust his quarterback, look down the sideline, know his quarterback calm, cool, and collected. That's a good feeling for a coach going in. Because before, we're looking for points last year. How are we going to score? How are we going to score over 30 points? How are we going? Now it's like we know we can score what we need to. We can get in a shootout with anybody, I believe, this year. But the best part is that the defense is going to be who the defense is, and we can appreciate them more as being the equalizer in the game. Yeah, y'all got a good offense too. Yeah, y'all put up some good points. We do too. But our defense, that's where that 16 in the country will start standing out. Hard to be 16 in the country on defense when your offense is 89th. You'll never get the impact of what 16 in the country means. You're like, dang, y'all 16. It doesn't feel like it. Yeah, because you're naturally giving up points because you're on the field 80% of the game. So it's give and take. Our 16 being ranked defensively in the country is going to stand out a lot more. And we're going to be better than 16 this year, in my opinion. Hopefully floating around the top 10 in the country defensively. It's going to reflect on the team this year because the offense isn't going to be at the bottom of the list. Now teams are going to be like, damn, when we don't have that many stabs at it, when we don't have 80 plays in the game to wear down a defense, it's more like 60. And then we got to think situation. We might be down now. Before it was like, no, they ain't going to keep us in there for a long time till the fourth quarter. They're going to give us chance after chance after chance because they're not going to score no points.
Right.
So they're going to keep us around. But now, hell, we might be down 14, 17 points if we don't score when we need to score. Now we got to be like, okay, Ben Morrison, we can't just be tossing balls all day over that way because, we don't want to waste downs. We don't want to put Sam Hartman on the field again. Teams got to think now. Before, everybody felt comfortable coming to Notre Dame because they know they had a chance. They just had to find ways to score. Defense didn't have to be great. Come on, Marshall's defense wasn't great. They had good players. They wasn't great overall. But what Marshall say? Hey, listen, just chip and chip and chip. They got a young guy back there. Show him some different looks. They're going to give us some drives. That's easy money. Now, Marshall wouldn't dare to throw no Gatorade on their coach now. How? They're going to be down 50 points. Because instead of 8 drives to score 20, you got 8 drives and you only got 10 points now. And hell, you're down 14 or 21 or can't get the lead. Every time you score, we score. It take you 3 drives to score. As soon as you score, we score fast because we throw it deep or something. You know, it's a mind fair psychological game that Marcus Freeman and Jared Parker and Al Golden can play because you got everything at your disposal. It's like John Wick, you know, he always got something on him. You like, dang, how you pull that out your sock? How you pull out your I got it out your sock. You know? Very equipped.
Lefty Podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify over at CFV Nation, YouTube, thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up, subscribe, helps with the views. We appreciate you. We give you audio edibles every day, and we're exclusive to CFV Nation. You already know we spin it different. I gave you his stats from last year. And I'll talk about the 2 games, which were consecutive games left that gave Sam Hartman troubles. And with one of the teams returning a really good defense and a top 10 defense, that might be a struggle. 3,700 yards, 38 touchdowns, 12 interceptions.
I think some of them interceptions came because his O-line let up some pressure where he's just letting some stuff go.
On October 29th and November 5th in back-to-back games, he struggled. 2 of his lowest completion percentages on the season. He threw 3 interceptions in both of those games, and they suffered 2 losses to Louisville and number 22 North Carolina State, who is going to be a tough game. We talked about what they returned on defense earlier in the summer. So he's going to have to overcome that. With that being said, I'd be very interested in watching the full game tape to see what North Carolina State did. The Louisville game, I saw it. It just seemed like some quirky stuff, and then Louisville got hot for a couple of quarters and kind of just walked away at home. The NC State game is something I'm going to dig really into to see what they did schematically to go against Sam Hartman.
Yeah, and you know, you got to think about it too in the case that Sam Hartman doesn't have to force the football with this Notre Dame football team. He doesn't have to put the ball in harm's way. We have a good enough offensive line to where when we want to take shots down the field, he's going to have enough time to where, okay, if I don't like the deep throw, I can come to my check down. Because what force for what? If we want 4 yards, we turn around and hand it to Audrey. So now this is like, look, we 2nd and 6. You can take a shot if you want to. You don't have to force it or take what we're giving you. Take it underneath. Take it to Tobias. Take it Chris Tyree. Take a screen.
Let me ask you a question, Lef. Against defenses like North Carolina State, this is just as an offensive coordinator. Like if you're getting ready to face Long Beach Poly, who has a great defense, and you know they have more talent than you have, right? Do you say to yourself, we have to be balanced? Or do you just say, look, this is what we can do against them, and if we have to pass the ball 60% of the time and just forego balance and run the ball, then that's what we have to do, because we have to give ourselves a better chance. Because just running the ball and only averaging 2-3 yards is not helping us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like Wake Forest, they ran the ball 49% of the times, but they're only averaging 3.4 yards a carry. Mm-hmm. So in essence, were they really helping Sam Hartman? I understand they were trying to help him.
Yeah, and that's where the creativity of the offensive coordinator has to come in. You know, anytime you're going against a defense that's more talented, in my opinion, from my experiences, you have to start swinging. You have to start swinging.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going against a major league like Verlander or something, swing,
Yeah.
swing.
Yeah.
Duh, he's striking people out okay, but most people not swinging. So you're gonna have to take some shots. You're gonna have. You think about Florida when they played against Alabama in the SEC championship, or was it SEC championship? Yeah, SEC championship against where they had Kyle Pitts and Kyle Trask, and an offense that wasn't more talented than the Alabama defense, but had some pieces. They was taking shots. They was making plays. You look against any team that gave Alabama problems in the championship game. Alabama's giving up 400 plus yards because teams are like, you know what? We're not going to get stuck in this. I'm scared. I need to, waste time on the clock. I need to be a defensive type of offensive play caller. No, 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 no. We're going to take shots. We're going to take our one-on-ones because we know that we believe in our talent. Jared Parker just has to believe in the talent that he has. He doesn't have to go beyond his means. He has to be a little creative. But don't go beyond your means thinking, oh, I have to play this real tight and keep the game close. No, take some shots. We got talent. Because that's going to tell the other side, okay, we know that y'all think y'all better than us from a paper perspective, but these one-on-ones are 50-50. These shots down the field are 50-50. And we like our guys. And we're going to take them. Because anything else, if you just playing the numbers, if you do traditional play calling against a team that's better, it's just not going to average out. You get anywhere. Kentucky versus Georgia, back when Kentucky was hot, they was trying everything. After a while, it gets a little played out because they couldn't trick them enough because they just didn't have enough talent. But in the beginning, you got to get them thinking. And for us to have Sam Hartman being such a great piece to balance off of, we can go out there and throw it 30 times and be successful. Not 30 times because we're trying to not look like how we look on film. 30 times because that's what it can take to win. And that's a difference. Going against Caleb Williams at USC last year, we knew we were going to have a hard time finding the points and who it's going to come from. How are we going to score that many points? We have to throw X amount just to get close to potentially scoring that many points. We can't just run that ball the whole game. With Sam Hartman, I'm comfortable going into the USC game throwing it 40 times. Because I think we got a chance if we throw it 40 times. Ohio State, we threw it, less than 25 times or something like that? If you just looked at the paper alone, you don't think that's enough to win. To beat Ohio State, you're going to throw for less than it's impossible. Impossible. Unless you're getting a play against Lorenzo made the first play of the game a couple times. Other than that, the percentages doesn't make sense. You're not going to beat Ohio State with 25 attempts. Kidding me? Unless you're the New England Patriots, you know what I'm saying? Unless it's some, yeah. So we're not going into games no longer afraid this season. If any time to bet on Notre Dame, this is the time in big games. Because of a couple things. One, our quarterback room, I'll take it versus these three games we got to win. I'll take it. I believe that we can score the points we need with the quarterbacks that we got. When you got that understanding, these Clemson, Ohio State, USC games is like, okay, it's just the challenge we're ready to take. Last year, we like, oh, man, how are we going to pull this off? This year, it's like, man, yeah, put us in there. We're gonna have a shot. It's gonna be a shootout. It's gonna be a chance. I'll put my money down. Before, I would never put my money down on Notre Dame. Now we got something to talk about going into games. How is Ohio State gonna manage offense and defense? Yeah, they got some players, but they got more questions than we do. That's what I like. I like going into a game with the other team having more questions. We know who we are from a standpoint of what we have. They don't even know what they got yet. So we're in a good spot.
The next thing with Sam Hartman, well, we expect Jack Cohn's stats to be his floor and what Jack Cohn was able to do. Jack Cohn, I would venture to say, would love to have his wide receiver core than the wide receiver core he had. And his wide receiver core was better than the core. No. I was about to say his wide receiver core was better.
His
was better than last year's core.
Opportunities.
Yeah. Yeah. It's questionable. But it's definitely been an upgrade. Coaching the wide receiver room and what you call talent in the wide receiver room. This is my pause. The talent in the wide receiver room is young. The talent in the wide receiver room is young. And whether people believe it or not, there is no dog in that room yet. There is no dog.
We would like to think there is one.
We would love to think that there is one, but there is no dog in that wide receiver room quite yet. Potential? Yes. Established? No. You establish that in games. You don't establish that in practice. You establish that in games. There is no dog in that wide receiver room. So as much as we talk about this person one-on-one, that person one-on-one, that dog has to show up against Ohio State. That dog has to show up against USC. Nobody cares about what you put up against Tennessee State and Navy. Yeah. We don't care. If there is a dog in that room, that dog is going to show up against Ohio State. That's it. We can talk about potential. We can talk about talent. We can throw out names. No, you're not. And no one has proven that they're a dog in the first 3 games of this schedule. No. And Sam Hartman, sadly, quarterbacks don't make dogs, don't make wide receivers dogs. Please don't believe that myth. I've seen dogs at wide receiver with bad quarterback play. At Notre Dame. I saw Michael Floyd be a dog with Dane Chris as quarterback.
That's what I was about to say. Would you get
Michael Floyd was a dog with Dane Chris as his quarterback left. I'm talking about a dog.
Tommy too. He had 1,000 receptions with Tommy.
Dude, if you are a dog, a quarterback doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You're a dog. You're just that dude. That has not played out quite yet.
It'll play itself out.
It has to play itself out, but it has to show up on the biggest stages, left.
It's got to show up on
It's got to show up on the biggest stages.
Yeah.
And dude, I tell people all the time, you know how Mark D'Antoni's defense played, right?
Yeah.
They didn't care. Man to man. Darquez Denard,
they played against us. They was literally man to man.
Man to man.
They
didn't care.
And they didn't change.
They didn't care.
And they had one high safety, but that's how we found out we had a dog.
Right.
Will.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Against a first round Trey Waynes. That's when Will was born.
That's the day you found out Will Fuller was a dog. You didn't find out he was a dog against
Rutgers?
Boy, yeah, Rutgers. No. Man to man, press coverage, Trey Waynes, future first round pick.
Still in the league. Against a freshman and Will Fuller.
Yes.
A young guy. DeVaris was out there, TJ was out there. They were doing good, but we found out about Will and knew where the direction of the offense was going.
Yes. And what Ohio State showed last year, as improved as the wide receivers were, Ohio State showed up and went man to man.
Yeah.
All game. And they dared the wide receivers to prove
that they had better talent than.
Where's the dog? Where's the dog? Because if the dog jumps up, we'll back off.
Yeah, we'll back off.
We'll back off.
Do us.
Yes.
Teams are like, y'all ain't got no dogs out there. Braden Lindsey just discovered himself, and he's y'all number one. We finna press y'all all game. And then what? We don't have to have no complicated defensive assignment. We're going to make sure you don't run, and we just believe our corners are better. Get off of press. Get some release packages, you know.
And there were opportunities against Ohio State.
There were.
Heck, Matt Salerno made some plays.
Listen, yeah, very true.
And it's, man, the dog has to come to fruition against Ohio State.
Yeah.
Opportunities are going to be there for big plays, man.
100%.
And in those games, you are not trying. Look, I understand what you did against Clemson, and that's fine. You are not winning games going 70, 65, 80 yards consistently against good teams.
You want a coffee?
You're just not. Go watch how Michigan has been able to beat Ohio State. Tough defense, physicality, big plays. Big plays in the passing game off play action. They've created big plays in the run game. Late in those games, as Ohio State has tired up front. You have to be willing to make big plays, and you have to have the players that can go out there and make the big plays. That's it. I've watched practice. I see the talent. I love the young receivers. I'm talking about Braylon James has an opportunity to be just as effective as Tobias Merriweather when it comes to taking the top off the defense. Just as effective. Rico Flores will be. Let me tell you right now, Rico Flores will be the technician that Left has been talking about. When you watch him run routes, he's going to be the technician. Jaden Greathouse is just going to be the dude that you line up anywhere and he finds a way to get open. That's who he is. So, yeah, that's tons of talent. Yo, Deion Cozy, it's about time, bro.
Yeah.
It's about, what are we talking about? 6'5"? We've been hearing about what you've been doing in practice.
He's been hurt. He's been hurt. Yeah.
It's about that time. If that dog is in you, he needs to come out and bark. Period.
It's the put up or shut up route.
Bernie. OSU secondary was ready to get torched last year. What happened?
Didn't try him enough.
The wide receivers didn't get open. Wide receivers didn't get open. They got the same game plan. Same game plan. It's funny how people automatically think Notre Dame has better receivers than Michigan, bro.
Yeah, I don't know about that. It's hard to say anything about our receivers, honestly.
Bro, this is what I'm talking about. People just, one thing I can't stand is just a flat out Notre Dame homer, bro.
Yeah.
They don't care. Notre Dame is great at everything. Everything. Every player is great.
Can't be like that.
I refuse to look at any other team and give them credit.
Yeah. Gotta be realistic about it.
So once again, yes, Ohio State, their secondary got torched. The secondary also got torched by Georgia. So what happened again with Notre Dame last year?
It wasn't producing well enough. I'll tell you that.
Oh, so
And
we're gonna put it all on the quarterback that game, right?
I think the quarterback has a part in it,
Oh, absolutely.
but the receivers were just not as productive as they should have been for where they are. We had a first year guy, Chance
Mm-hmm.
Stuckey, working his techniques in there. I mean, just the over the spring transformation that he had on these kids. I think it was such a jump that to show it in the game, I think it'll be more this year, more apparent this year than it was last year.
See, this is I'm gonna say two names. I'm gonna say two names, right? And I'm gonna show you that Bernie probably doesn't pay attention to any other football. Roman Wilson, all right, you got that?
Mm-hmm.
Roman Wilson and Ronnie Bell. Ronnie Bell is a dog.
Yeah,
A dog.
dog.
Who's a dog in the Notre Dame wide receiver room? I've seen Ronnie Bell be a dog. I've seen Roman Wilson be a dog. And Ronnie Bell came back off the ACL and was still a dog. So what are we talking about? When you say Notre Dame has better receivers, they don't even have a dog. They have no proven dog. Michigan has one. I don't care if you're 5'9" left, 160 pounds. If you a dog, you a dog.
You a dog, you a
You
dog.
a dog, you a dog. And like Jason Smith said, I saw your comment, Jason. He was right. Michael Floyd stepped on campus. And it was like, yo, it don't. I don't care who is in the wide receiver room. And
That's what's
this
crazy.
right here, this is what I'm talking about. He said Michigan receivers didn't do it. He just told, see, because he's losing the argument. Michigan has two dogs that have proven it over time. Give me the wide receivers that Notre Dame has that have proven it. You're
Yeah,
not answering the question
we're just
because
talking
your
about production.
comment was that Notre Dame has better receivers, but they have zero dogs. Give me the dogs in the wide receiver room that are proven. I gave you two for Michigan. You can say all you want. And both of those, two of the three plays ended up in big touchdowns. So what are you talking about? Michigan receivers didn't do anything, but they scored two big touchdowns on three cover zero plays. That's what you're supposed to do. Charlie Jones left Iowa, went to Purdue, and was a dog. He was a dog at Iowa with bad quarterbacks. He went and got an average quarterback at Purdue and was still a dog.
That's
I'm
right.
still waiting. Who's the dog in the Notre Dame wide receiver room? That's proven.
That's proving it. We all think they're good, but they gotta show
That's the
themselves
point.
that they're the dog.
September 23rd, people. What's the name of that song? Who let the dogs out?
That's right.
Hey, the dogs need to show up. That's a good question, Derek. What do you think about that?
They torched OSU but didn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Torching OSU has to reflect on the scoreboard,
Mm-hmm.
in my opinion.
Yes.
Because I'm sure throughout any game, there's plays where receivers win a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But if they don't get the ball,
Facts.
it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
That means it's good defense. So when it starts showing up on the scoreboard,
Mm-hmm.
it starts showing up how Charlie Jones numbers start showing up in big moments like Will Fuller versus Michigan State against a prominable or a formidable opponent. That's when you like, okay, we gotta do. Did
Mm-hmm.
Will have a bunch of numbers before that Michigan State game? No. But after that Michigan State game, we found, oh, we got a deep threat. Oh, we got to change our offense around because now, when in doubt, if a team pressing us, we got a guy that can win. So that's the type of impact I would like our receivers to have. Get a receiver pop out like that where we have to change our offense for him. That's when you know you got an impact at that position.
Yeah. And see, this is the comedy of it all. That he keeps pointing to he's avoiding the question about Notre Dame because he said Notre Dame had better wide receivers. But he can't tell me who the dog is in the Notre Dame wide receiver room. And he keeps focusing on Michigan. So J.J. McCarthy against Ohio State completed 12 passes left. 12. 12 the entire game. That's bad quarterback play, right? The two dogs, because I forgot about Cornelius Johnson, who's proven it as well. The two dogs caught 7 of those passes for 200 yards, 200 touchdowns. Two touchdowns with an average of over 20 yards per reception.
Yeah, crazy. Crazy.
But a quarterback that only had 12 completions. Bad quarterback play.
Yeah.
But what big dogs do with limited opportunities, they produce. They produce. Cornelius Johnson had 4 catches for 160, dog. 4 for 160, but he didn't do nothing.
And
He
you know
didn't do
that's
anything.
and you know, and that's just goes back to what's important for this offense at Notre Dame is that we have the capability, just like in the administration itself. It's a choice. It's a choice. It's a choice who we recruit, who we allow to accept. It's a choice not to do NIL. It's a choice whether we roll out the guys we believe in at the receiver and involve them in the offense or not. It's a choice. Both the football team and the administration are capable of anything we want to do. Especially now, the offense is can do whatever they want. They can feature the run, they can feature the throw.
Yo, we had a comment after the show yesterday. Somebody actually said that the school and administration has nothing to do with recruiting.
The administration is giving the okay or not, guys. This is one of the few universities that have to go talk to administration about accepting a guy. Marcus Freeman got to make calls, be like, "Hey, can we do this?" He got to get cleared. The head coach. Where else do you think Nick Saban got to call somebody else in the administration office to be like, "Hey, you think we can let Will Anderson come?" The buck stops at Nick Saban's desk. The buck don't stop at Marcus Freeman's desk. He get the clearance to be in the room when the decision is made. He can offer up, But Marcus Freeman ain't just, we taking him. What? Marcus Freeman got to sit in that little booth next to the Father Hesburgh, the confessional. He on one side, Father on the other. He's like, Father, I'm coming to you out of good stewardship. We got a kid that's a 5-star. We love him a lot. Can we accept him? You know what their answer is? What's his grades like? What? Marcus Green was like, I guess we can't accept him. The 5-star that wants to come here can't take him. So that's all I'm like, that's what we dealing with. Nick Saban don't have to do that. Nick Saban's like, man, we want you, you, and you. Matter of fact, we taking you. I don't even have to be there. Tommy thinking it's the interview of his life. The guy that's supposed to interview him ain't even there. He told him, yeah, you can stay in the house, just go around the house, see what you like, talk to a couple people, but you ain't leaving, going back nowhere. You staying here. You ain't been to South Bend since. He called a moving team.
And Coach Vic, from an academic standpoint, Stanford is similar, but unlike Notre Dame, Stanford football is like the 5th most popular sport on Stanford's campus.
Yeah.
Heck, Stanford golf is more popular than Stanford football. Stanford water polo, Stanford swimming, Stanford women's basketball, Stanford baseball, Stanford tennis. Now, there's like 5 or 6 sports that are more popular and more attended than Stanford football. Stanford kids don't care about football, man.
Yeah, crazy.
They have more All-Americans in other sports than football players.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not Notre Dame's play.
Nope.
Notre Dame has very much attached football to their brain.
Yeah. Very much so. And I think, we can't compare what we do to other people.
No.
That's why it's so interesting. They're in a conference. They got rules. They got guidelines. They got things that they can and can't do to step out of such realms of control for themselves. We're in a whole nother stratosphere when it comes to these teams.
Man.
That's what makes it so frustrating, is that we have no restrictions on how good we can get. From a money side, from a conference side, from a recruiting side. There's nothing that we can't just be like, yeah, we can make that happen tomorrow. Some of the other teams got to go talk to the commissioner, go talk to make sure it's cool with the other teams in the division or in the conference, or they all got to make the same decision. They all eat off the same money, the same advertising, same TV deals, same apparel. They got all these rules. So when you look at Notre Dame across the aisle, you like, man, nobody's telling them what to do for NIL. Nobody's telling them on who to accept, who not to accept. Nobody's telling them they low on cash and need to borrow cash for TV deals. They don't have to play a sorry schedule every year. They got to play the best schedule every year. They don't have to pay no Mount Union University to come play there. They got to schedule Purdue as an off game.
As an off game.
As an off game. Teams is catching buys before they play us, and they supposed to be better than us. How you catching a buy, USC, right before you play us, and you supposed to be the Heisman team? They do it every year. So nobody's telling us we need to join no conference. Nobody's telling us we have a limit on scholarships because that's fair to everybody else. So then when the fan base is like, man, why can't we get the best players? We have the most freedom. We're not bound to having to out recruit a kid because we don't want him to go to another school. We a national recruited state. You think we trying to get kids to not go to IU, not go to Northwestern? You think we trying to stop kids from that? We trying to gain kids, and teams are hating on us. They come just to negative recruit on what we're available to do. For whatever reason, Notre Dame cannot capitalize on the exclusivity that we have as a college football team. We do way more than y'all. We going to Ireland as a community, not just a football game. We're bringing the community with us.
Bro, I would have every 25 recruit that's serious on a 3-day package to Ireland with their mother and father.
Easily, because we can pay for it.
You would never have another official visit like this.
Never.
Ever.
If we
Sold out.
took Justin Scott on a real Irish tour
We're
with a
gonna
real
take
pot of
you.
gold,
We're gonna take you to a film Game of Thrones.
take you right there.
And I'll mess around and have the director and the actors there.
Because we can pull them. They probably Notre Dame fans. You know how that go. They probably big, long line Notre Dame. You know that's
Man, look, there's so much. This is why we say don't leave before for 40, because you have so much more to offer.
so much.
Just from your exclusivity. There's so much more to offer with Notre Dame football. We come back. Who should be the backup? And what's this battle going to be like in the fall? Woo-wee. Lefty podcast. This might go a little bit left. We spin it different. So we cover Sam Hartman, his floor, his ceiling, what to expect. It's great to have no quarterback battle going into fall camp. Having your starter. Notre Dame hasn't really experienced that recently going into fall camps. And overall, it's great for the teams. Left. Should Kenny Minchie truly have a shot to be the backup going through the fall camp?
Hell, if you call up to the school saying you think you can play up there, you should be looking to be the starter. In my opinion, I think Kenny taking the effort to, invest in himself to put himself in the Notre Dame conversation because it's like pulling out the King Arthur sword. It's not easy. He could have easily went to Pitt, been a 4-year, 3-year starter, insignificant to the storyline of college football. Let's be honest. Unless he's the number one player coming out of Pitt, his storyline is insignificant to the bigger picture of college football. If you are a part of Notre Dame football, you are the storyline of college football history during that time you're there. Because whatever you do at Notre Dame during those 3 to 4 years, 5 years that you're at Notre Dame is affecting the college football landscape in some way. In some way, us losing to Clemson in 2015 made Clemson who they are and Deshaun Watson and all of that. If we win that game versus Clemson in 2015, there is no Clemson dynasty and all this and that. It would have been us playing Alabama and all of that. You see what I'm saying? So the type of things that happen, if we beat Florida State when they're number 3 or 4 in the country coming off the championship, that was a huge momentous game of the season that year. Hell, Ohio State versus Notre Dame last year. If it wasn't for CJ winning that game, he wouldn't be in New York. He wouldn't be in New York if it wasn't for that. So you're going to play a huge factor into the college football storyline being a part of Notre Dame, especially the quarterback position. So for a kid to understand that and take that on as a challenge when Notre Dame wasn't looking his way necessarily, the mindset should be, yeah, I'm going in there to rob the bank. I'm going in there to turn heads, to do things I wasn't expected to do, which is a lot easier going in than to go in like a Jimmy Clausen where they're like, this is the answer. I would feel way more pressure going in being a Sam Hartman or a Jimmy Clausen or Brady Quinn where they're like, oh, this is or Ron Paulus. Oh, this is a 2-time back-to-back Heisman winning national championship quarter before he even takes a snap. Nobody even knows what Kenny's going to do. Nobody knows because Notre Dame didn't know. Kenny called up there and said, hey, I think I can make this thing work. So I think just that perspective going in my opinion, would ignite Kenny to be more invested in to get the job done, not more so or less than a guy like Jimmy Clausen who's going in as the new touchdown Jesus, which is heavy expectations to carry, before you even play. But for a guy like Kenny, I think he has the story to really uh, get the team to be galvanized around him. He didn't come in as the leader in the class. Like, not that anything's wrong with CJ's doing, but it's just a different way of coming to the table, and I think that helps the quarterback room develop, where it's like not everybody in the room is a spoon-fed guy. This is a room that has cultivated a competition where guys are trying to prove themselves. Sam's trying to prove himself. Kenny trying to prove himself. CJ's car coming in trying. Hell, Steve Angeli proving himself. He like, man, y'all wash me out the whole thing. And he's the backup technically. Like technically, if Sam got hurt first day of camp, Steve Angeli would be the starter through just the fact that he's been there the longest. And he don't even be taking the one rep. So just it's a lot is riding in that quarterback room, but I think the essence of the room is a lot more fervent for greatness than it has been in the past. I think we just been in neutral in that quarterback room for a long time.
Let me ask you a question. A lot of different moving parts going into the fall. Gino Guidugli is a new part at Notre Dame. Even in the Brian Kelly era, there wasn't really a quarterback specific coach, just strictly to work with the quarterbacks, right? So now you have a starter that's going to get, let's say, 70% of the snaps in the fall left.
Right.
He's getting 70% of the snaps. Now you're allotting the other 30 to Steve and Kenny. But they're going through other individual things because the individuals were with Tommy Rees.
Right.
While he was still trying to OC and set up the practices. That's not the case with Jared Parker. Now you have Gino Guidugli. The individual can be more attentive to really start getting these kids ready, even though they're only getting a certain percentage of the fall snaps. Talk about that, how that's going to impact their play during the scrimmages and during the fall camp, and then going into the season, and how that can expedite both of them. Because we don't want to leave Steve Angeli out. He's getting the same opportunity. Kenny Minchie, I can tell you one thing. He's not running. Steve Angeli isn't about to just be given the backup. I believe Kenny Minchie has plans on pushing him.
Yeah, I mean, it's really open game. You got to think about it. You got a new quarterback coach. He has no allegiance to anybody in that room, even the guy that we got as the starter, because he's only there for a year and he just got there. So, the what held that room together from everybody kind of being comfortable was Tyler Buckner, because he's been there. He knows offense. He's a good resource. He's not overbearing or over competitive where he's not a friendly dude in the room. Now you don't have that consistency in the room. Now it's like up for grabs. Even with Sam, Sam's got it in control, but Sam is figuring it out. So there's no wealth of experience from a playing under center at Notre Dame that we have currently, which is a really interesting dynamic because it's a surreal moment for anybody to be starting in that position, but for nobody to have no starts under that. Going in, nobody has starts under that quarterback position for the Notre Dame offense going into the first game, which is probably can't find that anywhere else in the country. Anywhere else where the room itself has not taken a snap as a starter in that room, which puts a lot up in the air where, look, there's got to be a dog come out of that because it's just way too much of a slam dunk. Because you can go to a lot of rooms. You go to Texas room, there's, it's tense in that room. You got Arch Manning in there. You got Quinn Ewers. You got Malik Murphy. Those are some good quarterbacks. Go to Ohio State room. You got Devin Brown. You got Kyle McCord. You got some guys you can, okay. With us, it's like everybody from the outside looking in be like, oh, that's a winnable spot. Everybody on the outside looking in be like, that's not a scary room outside looking in. But the room itself has a lot that can be asked of and can be produced from that room. Sam can make some money out of that room. If he just lock in, put in the right stuff, get with Jared Parker, he can make himself whatever he wants to be out of that room. A lot of rooms can't say it. You can't go to Tulsa's quarterback room right now and be like, if you just do your job, you go be in the right spot. So it's the mystery of that room and the mystery of the production. I think having a guy in there like Gino Gaduli can manage it and foster the right type of production and results out of that room. But it's still special and it holds a lot of weight to this team. You're on mute.
You know, Kenny Minchie has to be reined in. And what I mean by that, and Left is probably shaking his head because Left is like, I love that. If you're gonna be a quarterback, I would much rather rein you in than to have to build you up and get you to take shots. Kenny Minchie has to be reined in because he's super confident, he believes in himself, and he's a darn good thrower of football naturally. Just natural skill of knowing how to take the right arc, loft, speed off the ball, increase speed. Naturally, he's just able to do it. He was doing it in high school. Steve Angeli has just struggled with accuracy and ball placement since he's gotten to Notre Dame. He just has. And when you watch him in practice, it's the same thing. So, is he a gamer? Yes. Is he tough? Yes. Can he run the offense and know the offense? Yes.
It's like Dane Chris. He's big,
You know,
got some good qualities, about him, but some guys are just who they are. And I think Steve Angeli is who he is. He needs help, just like 95% of the quarterbacks in college football. He's not going to be the most accurate. I think it just sucks because you get guys like a Drake May, you get guys like a Caleb Williams, where they have all of this talent early. And it's just everything is flowing for them. They're in the right fit. And you're like, why is our quarterback not like that? Well, it's not that many guys like Caleb Williams and Drake May. It's just so you're gonna be dealing with everybody else, and it's okay. Everybody else needs help and something around them. So yeah, as a standalone, Steve Angeli probably wouldn't be the first pick of the draft. But with Notre Dame and the help he has, we can make up for where he lacks by taking the ball out of his hand because we have other players. Maybe we don't have the same amount of explosives and the same amount of numbers or the stats that we may expect out of the team, but he can squeeze and get some juice out of the same orange. We're looking to overflow our cup of juice with Sam Hartman, but with Steve, we know he can squeeze some wins out of that because he's at Notre Dame. And for right now, as a quote unquote placeholder until proven otherwise, he's there exactly how he should be. Because if we had a bunch of number one picks, it would be hard. It'll be hard to manage.
interesting chat going on about the Ireland thing we threw out there. And I didn't research it. I don't even know if it's possible. Right. I'm putting that on with the premise of it being just like the Las Vegas game last year, where I know a ton of recruits went to the game. And that was probably on their own dime. Them and their families.
We can make
it wasn't an official visit. My point is, for me, if I've been to Notre Dame's campus unofficially 2 or 3 times left.
Yeah.
And I've already been to a game day. I would much rather go to Ireland and go to another game day. That's just me. I've already seen the campus. I've already talked to administrators. I've already seen a football game. You mean to tell me I can have an experience We go to the exclusivity of Notre Dame and using it to your advantage. That exclusivity is the fact that Notre Dame travels internationally and all over the world every year and gives experience to the. This is what you're going to experience if you come to Notre Dame. I'm taking the experience if I have been to Notre Dame multiple times. That's just me. Because that's something I can't get at Ohio State, something I can't get at Michigan, something I can't get at USC. You talk about 4 for 40? This too. And maybe Ireland is a little bit too expensive. Whatever the next destination is, take advantage. Because I know Drake Bowen was in a row full of like 15 recruits in 23 and 24 that went to Vegas. Notre Dame barely beat BYU. So it wasn't a game. It was the fact that they were sitting in a professional football stadium in a crazy environment that Notre Dame sold out along with whatever small percentage of BYU tickets that were sold. And they left there and they went and walked the strip. And Drake Bowen said it was crazy to be walking the Las Vegas Strip and Notre Dame fans knew who I was.
Yeah, that's the uniqueness. Notre Dame fans.
That's an exclusive experience that no one else recruiting Drake Bowen could have given him. No one.
Notre Dame is good at that, man. We do our research now.
And I'll tell you another thing. This is why Notre Dame, for all the swings and misses in the 24 class, and I have no clue why that has taken place. I really don't. If we knew the answer, you know us, we would give it to you. But Notre Dame is on top of it in this 25 class. They are, man, because this cookout coming the 30th, all of these 25 kids that are coming back, and they're doing this huge cookout that's including the recruits, the current freshmen, and the current players. You got Owen Strebick coming back for his third time. Taylor from Chicago coming back for his third visit. All types of big-time recruits coming in. They're on it.
They're on it.
I think they're trying to get Deuce Knight back.
Yeah.
For the cookout. Yo, they're on it. They're on it. This cookout is a fantastic idea. And this is what it's about. Create exclusive experiences that no one else is doing.
Yeah.
The winning will come. But you have to create exclusive experiences. Look, Left, everyone else, you played there, you went there, you graduated from there. I'm a lifelong fan that has been there in the stadium as a toddler, as a teenager, and as an adult. I now have the opportunity to cover this team and talk about this team.
That's right.
Of course, I think the campus is beautiful. Of course, I think turning left. When you come in, you turn left. You go down, you bang that right. You take that road, and the lake is there to your left. Man, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. The leaves are falling. It's beautiful. You walk up on the grotto for the first time. It's like, yo, it's incredible. You walk into the basilica and you look up and you see the ceilings and it's like, man, yo, you walk the campus. You walk around the stadium and you start to feel the years of all the presidents and all the players and all of the important people and superstars that have come to watch football in this place. You feel it. But a 16-year-old kid isn't feeling that when he's walking the campus, dog. He
No.
has no connection to Notre Dame. He
No.
can't feel that yet.
Yeah.
You have to create an experience for him so there
Absolutely.
can be a connection. You just can't say, oh, this is our campus. No, that's not how that works. That's not how it works. Let me tell you something, Roger Dodger. Let me tell you something, Roger Dodger. And this is funny because the last time Justin Scott actually saw Notre Dame play, USC beat the hell out of Notre Dame because he was there on his official visit. The last time he watched the Notre Dame defense, it was on that night. And when I spoke to him after the USC visit, you know what he talked about? The architecture of the campus. This kid, he's on something else, dude. He's like, yo, he's like, honestly,
man, listen, that
the
don't
architecture of the campus. But this is my point. That let me know that USC didn't have a shot.
Oh, yeah.
Because he was talking about the architecture of the campus. I'm like,
bro. It had nothing to do with what he just watched.
Nothing. But I can relate because it's a beautiful campus.
Yeah.
I know.
We was there.
I walk it every year, multiple times. It's a gorgeous campus. Bookstore's a little overpriced.
A little.
Yeah, dog.
It's majorly overpriced. I feel like the bookstore would generate more if they just kept it reasonable.
And this is crazy because they just built, I don't know what it was, 5 years. I think they just opened they just built this new student center left.
Yeah, the student center is crazy.
That is like, it's a Target, another grocery store. Then you have all of these restaurants, spas, clothing stores, everything. And it's just crazy. And you sit there in the middle and you chillax and you watch all of these kids come up, and it's a beautiful fountain. And it's an amazing campus. It's an amazing campus.
Amazing, yeah.
It's an amazing campus. For a different reason. You can go to the USC campus as a visitor and actually have fun as a 16-year-old without even talking USC football.
Yeah.
That's my point. If you dropped a 17 or 16-year-old off in the middle of USC's campus, they would have a ball.
Absolutely.
Without talking football, they would have a ball. Because we haven't even brought up the eye candy. That's a whole nother issue.
USC don't even pay for that. That's just free. That's just free. That's just at walking around.
So this is what we're talking about. Notre Dame having the opportunity, and they're doing it because this cookout is a great idea. Now, how they execute the cookout is a whole nother thing. I'm looking forward to hearing the stories from these recruits. But it's a great idea. It is getting the players and the recruits an exclusive look at what it's like to be a player on campus, especially during the summer, because the campus belongs to you all during the summer, Left.
That's right.
That's the one time the campus is yours. This is what it's like as a Notre Dame football player. This is the experience. It's a great idea. It's a great idea.
Yeah, you got to find your victories, and the cookout is a victory that's got to be a victory for us. It's got to have some positive turnout because these are one of our biggest recruiting weekends where we have the chance to really roll out and show something more than just weights and meeting rooms. We can ingratiate you with the campus, show you how beautiful it looks. We can get some food, chit chat, but really stressing the the wholesomeness and totality of what the recruiting visit is like at Notre Dame. We're the number one school with moms. So these cookouts are always how we seal the deal with the moms on campus that come and everything. So for Marcus Freeman, I think hell, bringing back uh, some of the things that they did shit at Ohio State during that time, I think would be good. Just
Absolutely.
to find ways to have retention that that matter. And these kids
Mm-hmm.
that usually are interested in Notre Dame, it don't take much.
Mm-hmm.
Best part, that's why we probably got so lazy, is that the kids that get it, which is we can be honest, 80% of each recruitment class are kids that want to come to Notre Dame and see the value of coming to Notre Dame. We
Mm-hmm.
don't go here and argue about that 20% that we got to win. But generally, 80% of the offers we extend are kids that are super grateful and excited for the opportunity. Usually positions of running back, offensive line, tight end. They're like, oh, yeah, I got that one. I'm committing. So 80% of what we talk about in terms of these classes are kids that want to be there. We get upset at the 20% of the kids that we got to convince to come, but also that 20% that can be the difference makers on top of the foundation. We can build a foundation class. 10 years of winning, it ain't hard to find kids that want to be a part of that.
Mm-hmm.
It is hard to find the ones that see beyond that. They like, look, I know we can win if I'm on the team, but I want to be able to take it further.
Mm-hmm.
That's where we have to turn the lens from us being, oh, we're Notre Dame, just come here. We got everything you need, to, oh, well, we are, but let me show you why. This is how you can play a part. We can help each other. Even with our transfers, it probably took 2 seconds with Jack Cohn to get him to come down to South Bend. Come on, right? That's an easy. We like getting the ones that we know we can win. You think it was a struggle to recruit Jack Cohn from Wisconsin?
No.
And we probably told him, we like, look, and we're gonna play another dude. How you like that? He was like, cool, whatever you want. cool, whatever you want. He didn't. How long do you think it took to recruit Sam Hartman? He was going to the league. How long did you think it really took the coach to get Sam? Probably 2 seconds. Hey, free year at Notre Dame. What's up? Leave Wake Forest. You don't need that. Come over here. We get you right. We get you to the NFL the right way. 2-second conversation. See, but you can't do that with Deuce Knight. You can't do that with a Dante. You got to be like, look, most of the kids that come to us know about us beforehand, even transfers. Because once you get into college football, you'll find out about Notre Dame and the importance of how it affects college football. Once you're in college football, every team in the nation knows something that whatever Notre Dame does is going to affect something else that they got going on, or they're going to be catching Notre Dame prime time. It just happened. Even when I was at Florida, I was catching Notre Dame's prime time. I had all the time in the world to watch Notre Dame games. Prime time. Well, all my teammates knew how important Notre Dame was, and they never played Notre Dame. But you know that once you get into school. So when it comes to recruiting a Jack Cohn, a Sam Hartman, a Brandon Joseph, a Ben Skoranek, a Kane Madden, it don't take much. They know what they're getting. Now, these same guys before school, one, we probably wasn't talking to them. Two, they probably like, yeah, it's a good just like every other school. That's what Deuce Knight thinks. He's like, yeah, you cool like Tennessee's cool too. That's where we got to turn our degrees up. Okay, we're cool too, but this is what they can't do. This is what it feels like. We got to give that feeling to kids like, this is exclusive. I can't find it. Yeah, they know it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if I go to school and I graduate and I go 12 years and I get through high school, I'll get a degree and it can lead to great things. I know that. But doing it is a whole nother thing. Standardized tests, ACT, or I ain't got to take ACT, SAT no more. But, there's levels to it. There's progressions. There's things you got to get through. People don't see that at Notre Dame. They see that face value. Oh, I see the end of the road. That's cool. But I can get that on my own. I'm a 5-star kid, whatever. So it's interesting.
Well, left the let's get to the super chats, man. I don't want to forget these. Truman ML, thank you, my brother. How good of a mentor can Hartman be for the young quarterbacks? And can the quarterback coaches prepare Minchie and Carr to be elite?
I
You
don't
know
know how much.
what?
I don't know how much of a mentor Sam's come off to me as.
Mm,
I think he's just a guy that's like, look, take what you can get from him. Watch him how he goes about his practice. You can ask him a couple. I mean, how much is he gonna tell Kenny and Carr? Well, hell, he ain't gonna get a chance to see Carr, but how much can he really tell Kenny other than just watch me do this? And I've been around, so this happens when this happens. Other than that, he only there for a year. If I'm Kenny, I'm like, okay, this is what they like about the quarterback they want starting. I'll take that from him. But how much wealth can he dump on him when he's not going to be there after this year? He's only there for really a season. He ain't really focused on trying to get me right for anything. And he ain't going to teach you much about the offense because Tyler's not here. So
mm-hmm.
got a bridge of communication. Gino's new to it. I'm new to it. Sam new to it. We kind of learning together. I think it's more what's Kenny's impact on Carr, Gaduli's impact on Kenny and Carr. Can he make him elite? I think if he's just consistent, you can be elite with the guys that you can work off of and with and distribute the ball to. You can be elite in that aspect. But these guys are good coming in. Being elite on that next level is an individual thing, in my opinion. Because I don't want to give credit to guys that go into great situations and be like, oh, he's elite. But you got all-stars all around.
Film room, that opportunity may come because he spent the spring getting tips from Tyler in
That's
the
what I'm
film
saying.
room.
Like
So
Sam's learning.
he couldn't help them.
Exactly.
When Tyler was the one helping him. He said that. So
and then Tyler's gone. So Sam looking at Kenny the same way Kenny looking at Gaduli. And I know they ain't asking Steve. Hell, Steve ain't taking no 1 reps yet. So maybe it's learning by committee and then, who separates themselves and who takes it the next level, who's staying after, who's asking more questions, who's investing in the offense. These are all individual things that only are going to show in practice in the game. You're not going to, I don't think Kenny's going to convince Gino Gaduli that he knows more than Sam. Just, in this short amount of time is going to be an opportunity where he gets into practice or team situation or, whatever the case may be. But that's exactly how it happened for Will. We had TJ Jones, DeVaris, Corey. We had some Chris Brown. We got some guys. But it wasn't until the game. Hell, it wasn't until the right game that we found out that Will was really the one that we got to run with. So,
Matt, thank you for the super sticker, my brother. And then Truman DeMille again. Let's start giving recruits to Don Corleone and making them an offer they can't refuse. Make them realize Notre Dame football is a family.
Gotta invest into these kids, man. Just a little bit more. You invest into yourself, and the brand is great. You invest to yourself, the brand is great. But now we got to be able to turn that same investment and belief that we have in our own program and turn it into these kids and make them feel like they make the brand better. We make anybody we come in contact to and with better, but can they feel like they're making us better as well, not just coming here for an experience? I feel like most of those 5 stars that's going to Georgia feel like Georgia is lit because of them.
Yeah, see, Mac 10, this is, man, I'm glad you brought this up because 15 years ago, that was part of the exclusivity of Notre Dame. It doesn't hit anymore. It just doesn't. Everybody's on national TV every week.
Texas got his own channel just for Texas.
You know what I'm saying? Texas on national TV, Georgia, Alabama, heck, Ohio State last year had 4 of the top 5 highest rated games. Like, that's what they're telling recruits. Like, dude, more people, most exposure, and the most scouts come to our games.
That's it.
That's it. So that exclusivity of national TV is just it's not the
We
same.
selling vacation brochures for guys to spend all their career at Notre Dame.
Yeah,
Guys is looking for a short stay, and we making them pay at least 2 night stays, and they like, we don't need a 2 night stay. Let me come in for the game and go home. Y'all want me to get at least a 2 night? I don't know what I'm gonna do them other days.
you're right.
Let me just get off. Let me get the night I'm there for the game. Everybody knows the game is at night. Everybody want to stay at night and then go home the next day. Don't make me buy 2 days just because you want to be greedy. Now I can't book the room. That's how Notre Dame be doing you. They be like, all right, you gotta book it through Monday. Damn, the game on Saturday.
Yeah.
What are you doing? We hanging around South Bend for 2 extra days for? And that's what Notre Dame does, man. Just sell them what they come for. Yeah, the 4 for 40 is great. We cannot say it's not great.
And Adam Shipley, I bring up this statement. And it's not that we didn't say Sam Hartman could impact in the film room. He hasn't done it yet. That's coming.
Yeah.
Because he didn't even know the offense in the spring. So what can he
was at Wake
offer?
Forest, we would have a different assessment.
Dude, you can't offer anything right now. You're getting the bulk of your teaching from Tyler Buckner. Now,
how is Kenny looking at that? He looking
if I'm Marcus Freeman, I'm like, that's why I got Gino Gaduli. Damn that. I need you getting ready for Ohio State. It's not your job to bring, that's our job to develop them.
That's right.
Matter of fact, if I'm Kenny, I'm listening more to Gino during film than anybody. He's more important. Can Sam say some things? Yeah. But we're not dependent on Sam Hartman to develop these dudes. That's why you went out and got Gino Gaduli. That's why. Because Sam Hartman, your job is to focus on winning these games.
Quarterback coach to be the coach.
Like, dude, you're here. Let's be honest. You're a rental for about 8 months.
And we will give you back to the league or wherever you want
to
go.
After 8 months, you're going to prepare for the NFL.
Yeah,
you're an 8-month rental.
Yeah,
absolutely.
We have done our due diligence with each other.
Absolutely.
And I wouldn't expect Kenny to be taking a bunch of, I don't even know, investment tips on how to be a better Notre Dame quarterback from a rental.
Yeah. And can he, during the week, on a Tuesday,
he'll learn some stuff from him on how to
8:30 at night
and adjust the pressure.
Yeah,
because he's been
sit up there watching practice at the film at the practice.
He'll make some comments and stuff.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Maybe Kenny can pick up a routine here or there, pregame or after practice that an old dude does.
Yeah,
that's natural stuff.
Yeah,
but in terms of is Sam going to get Kenny ready for the future? Absolutely not. That's Gino's job. Sam's gonna do what Sam's gonna do, and whatever falls off of that, I'm sure those guys in the film room will be like, okay, that's what a pro looks like.
Hey, man, look, let me tell you something. I know we hear like mentor the youngsters, man. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna tell you something, and I know Left is about to confirm this. Man, that mentorship in that quarterback room, that's some fairy tale stuff. Now, I can tell you now,
maybe could have happened with Ian, maybe, but look,
maybe.
He didn't teach them kids nothing. Look how they left. Look how he left them. Jack Cohn obviously didn't teach Tyler too much because he left too, and had a bunch of turnovers and all that. So it's these guys ain't teaching each other. The only time you see something like that is when all of them are winning, aka anybody that Lincoln Riley got, aka whoever's hot during this time. So Tennessee looks like it, but that's rare. Ohio State rare.
I just said this. Let me. Mac Jones did not mentor Bryce Young.
No.
Mac Jones wanted to kick Bryce Young's butt.
Absolutely.
And win. And Bryce Young wanted to kick his butt as a true freshman.
And wanted to play. Oh, he didn't care about Mac waiting.
And Bryce Young, on his own, went and watched film. Every tape that they had He watched it twice. That's Bryce Young. It ain't got nothing to do with Mac Jones. Giving them tips. I'm sure certain things on the field, during the practice. Yeah, what you see?
But Bryce not looking to take too much from him.
No.
I feel like I'm better.
No. We already told you how Kenny Minchie is. And Kenny Minchie ain't looking to take. Kenny Minchie like, all right, Sam. All
right. And left it at that.
Because Kenny Minchie deep in his heart is like, I'm going to be better than you.
That's it.
If we're keeping it 1,000. Because if Kenny Minchie's like, he's looking at Steve Angeli like, I'm better than you.
Yep.
And I'm going to be better than him.
And he should be. This is not no Batman and Robin situation where it's just Robin will always be under Batman. No.
And that's just being, you know what else that comes from? That's just having camaraderie.
Right.
That communication stuff, camaraderie, communication, talking. That's just the natural progression of Sam Hartman becoming acclimated. That's why we said the best thing for Notre Dame was to announce that Sam Hartman was the dude from the jump.
Yeah, from the jump.
To establish that. To establish he's a guy, establish the camaraderie in the room, and open up the communication in film sessions, on the field, all that small stuff.
It destroys the room.
Destroys the room.
It's like if you put a bunch of what's them fish? You put a bunch of fish in there, you can't do it because they'll eat each other.
Mm-hmm.
It's just if you don't set the top dog in the room, we're just gonna eat each other. That's just what it is. There's only one guy that can play. And hell, we all think we better than each other anyway.
Yeah.
We all got told different things on our recruiting stories anyway. And then if you just walk in there and be like, hey, it's fair game, anybody can win the job, that's detrimental to your football team.
Mm-hmm.
Because no matter what, you just will never be as happy for the next dude taking your spot.
So let's talk about the wide receiver position. Tim Brown said he's going to mentor Tobias Merriweather.
And they better turn out as he's the leader of the room.
Why couldn't Deion Colsey mentor him? Why couldn't Jay Thomas mentor him? They watch film with him.
Yeah.
Which mentor do you think is going to be more important?
Hell, Chase Claypool should have needed a mentor.
I think sometimes mentorship, just because Sam Hartman gives tips, it doesn't make him a mentor. Like I have a lot of people that gave me great advice.
It makes him a healthy teammate, man.
I've had some great people give me advice in broadcasting over the last 12 years. They're not my mentors, and they didn't mentor me. We just had some really good conversations sitting in the lunchroom at WGN, at ESPN. Passing information, alerting me to things, alerting me to trends. Yo, man, that's a good tip. Thanks for letting me know that. That person not necessarily a mentor to me. They were a teammate within the same company. And we shared information. So, I just need Sam to be a great teammate. He's an 8-month rental, man.
Should be a good teammate, man.
Just be a great teammate on and off the field.
You do your job, I promise you, Notre Dame.
That's it.
I promise you. Look, do your job, Sam, and I promise you Notre Dame will create a whole life for you. Hell, just you know what you got into.
Man.
This is not about good feelings. This is about getting something done.
You know how you mentor? You know the best way Sam Hartman can mentor these kids?
Is winning.
And putting up great film.
Oh, yeah.
Give them great film to look at every week.
That's it.
That's it.
That's all it should be.
You don't have to say a word.
For a rental,
you have to say a word.
Make the offense look like it's going to be hard to repeat.
Yes.
Make it look like you did some stuff because you really tapped in, and this is an elite ceiling of where our offense can be, and keep it standard.
Yeah.
Put the standard up there. This is a 41-point offense if
Yes.
you do your damn job.
Yes.
And now you don't need to hypothesize and theorize on how we can score 41. Look at Sam State for 1 year. This is what we can look like at our peak, and damn near as just the baseline. Now, Kenny, you want to be better than Sam? Be better than 41 points. And he had a whole season of it because he did listen. We got the players. He made some plays. What you think Bryce Young was looking at? He was looking at Tua put up 50 points, 40 points, 50 points. Jalen Hurts winning championships, 30, 40, 50. So he's like, okay, that's what they expected from me. Sam Hartman don't have no film to look at. He's got to be the example. So he worried about that. He's like, look, let me lead by putting up these numbers and winning games. I can't really teach you much because ain't nothing to go off of. Jared Parker don't got no playbook. This is Tommy shit.
Man.
So I gotta make Jared Parker right so he can have something to teach you.
Yeah.
And Gino got to support that. So hell, we all working together.
That honestly, I'm glad it got to this point. That's, that goes back to Bryce Young, Mac Jones. So it's like, dude, film. When you have great film for your quarterbacks to look at, it goes a long way. Regardless if they're in there with Sam, Gino, the film. Give them something.
And then guess what you gonna do? Give it to Deuce Knight?
Absolutely.
Like Deuce Knight, look, come in here and watch how we put up 41 versus your favorite team. This could be you. Sam Hartman did it, and he was a rental. We just bought him off the street. Now just imagine 4 years, 3 years of you running this. RPOs, quarterback runs, deep throws. You're gonna have the gamut. I'll never forget when Gus Malzahn was recruiting me. After I graduated for my 5th year, he flew in, and all he did was bring an iPad. And he said, look, we got this player going to the league, this player receiver, this player tight end. We got a good old line. It's a great environment. Look at our offense. You can fit that. Do you want to come? That was Gus Malzahn at Auburn selling point. He didn't talk about academics or where I'm going to live or no money necessarily. It was, we got a first-round running back. We got a first-round receiver. We got blocking. We got the schedule. You can fit just like this in here. And if you don't take it, Jared Stidham going to take it. That was the 30-minute recruiting trip and all I needed. And I was like, Coach, I love it. I'm going to go to Florida instead. That was it. That was the last time I heard from Auburn. So it just shows you that what certain schools promote and what's important. They talk about winning football games.
Yeah.
And who they got to help you do that.
Yeah.
That's what won Justin Scott over. Ohio State, hey, this is who you're going to be playing with, Justin Scott. And we got Larry Johnson who can get you there. Do you want to come or not? They didn't do all the cookouts and come to – they had an official here and there, but that wasn't what was the tipping point. They're doing due diligence. We got to bring them up, show them a good time, whoop-de-whoop, but then we're going to tell them the real. We got Larry Johnson. We got a resume. And these are some dogs you're going to be playing with. Now, you can be the best out of the group, but they're going to push you to get better. They're not just going to be looking at you all day like, how do I, we don't have that yet. But that's what can tip the cow over right there.
Yeah. And unfortunately, we had somebody in the chat that didn't like the direction of the conversation, even though I think it went perfectly with the fact that we were talking about development of the backups. And Adam brought up mentorship. And I think someone needs to look up the definition of mentorship. That's just the way I look at it. Because you can't be my teammate, and just because you're my teammate, you're a mentor. Doesn't work like that. And a quarterback that played at Notre Dame just told you that mentorship doesn't happen in quarterback rooms. It just doesn't.
That speaks to my Florida experience. I chose Florida because they had just went to back-to-back SEC championships, back-to-back. And they did it with a grad transfer in Austin Appleby.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie Fry was a great mentor that was going to teach me how to basically be a rookie in the NFL. You know, new team, new environment, 1 year to do it. SEC is like G League and NFL. All the things that you could imagine. They had an NFL uh, type of talent. They had Antonio Callaway. They had Jordan Scarlett. Had Wani Taylor, who was a first round tackle. They had another first round, Martez Ivy. They got a left guard that's in the league for the Steelers. So the team was set up perfectly. You know, the defense was obviously, Florida defense really good at the time. Everything was spelled out perfectly. You know, Tim Tebow and the whole Lefty thing, and just the same things that Auburn had. The only difference was I didn't have that position coach that could literally taught me the things that he's taught me today. Um, was by my like really just that's the
Yeah.
mentor, the quarterback coach. I didn't go for no player
Left.
in particular,
Look,
but that's what
Harry Heastand set it up at Notre Dame that once you were an offensive lineman, you rode with the offensive lineman, you went everywhere with the offensive lineman. The older offensive lineman mentored you
yeah,
from the day you set foot on the campus.
that was how it was set
Sam
up though. Yeah,
Sam Hartman is fishing with the coaches, man. He is not hanging out with Steve Angeli and
he's
Kenny
one of them.
Minchie.
He's
He's
he's more the homie babysitter friend. Like
he's one dude. He goes to the coach's house, man.
eats
Him and
dinner,
eats
hangs out.
dinner, fishes, hangs
Yeah,
out.
they are like more like boys.
He's
He's
a
not.
grown man.
Yeah, he a
He's
grown
a
man.
grown man. He man. And most quarterbacks, which quarterbacks did you hang out with?
Nobody.
Nobody.
Yeah.
You and Deshaun didn't hang out.
We hung out when we went to see our girlfriends at Ohio State, but other than that, it just doesn't happen like that. Because think
It
about it,
doesn't happen.
you
Quarterbacks are
already got,
different. That's all we're saying. That's
yeah,
all
you
we've been
already going
saying.
against. You already slightly don't want the dude to succeed. That's just how do you even hang around somebody when you slightly don't want them to do better than you, like, or you just have to be in that mindset when you around the person because that's how the coaches are treated.
And I love it.
Yeah, it's
I love it.
the time and place for everything.
Man, what's your boy Kelly Bryant? He wasn't trying to groom Trevor Lawrence. He wasn't trying to give him tips during the spring. Trevor Lawrence was on his neck.
On his neck the whole time. And the coaches was applying the pressure. And he played good.
Noma Wap said his best. He darn right. Alphas don't buddy up, bro.
It's just not a buddy type of thing. It's a respect. Like, I have great respect for everybody I was in competition with. I could never say anything bad about them in that regard.
No.
But I definitely wasn't trying to hang with Ev or hang with Tommy Reese, or hang with, Brandon was cool, but even with Brandon, it just wasn't, Brandon was on his own vibe,
Look, I don't do Sam. This is Sean Davis talking to you, Sam Hartman.
You a grown man.
I relieve you from any mentorship duties that you might feel like you have. I need your entire focus on the 70% of plays you're going to get during fall camp, elevating this wide receiver room, elevating this offense, and kicking Ohio State, USC, and Clemson's butt. That's it. That's the task at hand.
And
this message will self explode in 15 seconds. It is up to you whether or not you take this mission. That's it. That's it. I don't even need you to be the super nice guy that everybody loves.
I don't have to be. You only got 8 months.
Don't have to be.
8 months, you in there to win.
No, that's it.
And everybody knows it. Because if you don't, nobody's going to sit there and pat you. They don't know you. They will only know you for what you do, Sam. Just like Jack Cohn. Jack Cohn played it smart. Came in, did what he could, and dipped and didn't look back. You don't see Jack Cohn sporting the ND varsity jacket back on the sidelines with some shades on. Like, Sam, Jack Cohn was very grateful and appreciative and knew what his job was. Come in here and hold the ship. Hold it up.
That's it.
Hold it up. and we'll love you forever. We gonna take you where you want to go. Hold it
Yep.
up, Jack Cohn. Don't do that. Don't do too much. Just hold it up. Keep us at this 8, 9, 10 win game level,
Mm-hmm.
and you golden with it. You can even lose some. We're gonna play other guys. We're gonna try to transition it. Just play the transitional role.
Hey, Coach Vic has a question for you. He said, I'm curious how much time did Tommy spend focusing
Zero,
only on the
zero,
quarterback?
zero, zero, zero. Come on, zero, 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 zero. And anytime that he faked like he did, it wasn't good enough to develop anybody. So it's like, come on, don't fool yourself. You don't have enough time in the day to do both. You don't. Not if you want to be succinctly good at it. Like, come on, how much did Todd Monken really spend with the quarterbacks individually or as a group? Todd Monken was focused on that offense, putting up 63 points in the national championship. He was admittedly honest in the championship game. He said, "This ain't no family. This is a job. If I don't do
Mm-hmm.
my job and win, I'm not going to be here." So yeah, Kirby Smart preaching the family thing, yeah, it's cool and all that, but this I don't treat it as family. This ain't family because I can get fired if I don't win. So I'm focused on winning, and that's what Jared Parker has seemed to me. I don't see him as a big rah always in the press trying to boost up the morale of the team. I think he's locked in on how do I score 41 points a game with Sam.
Lucky Lefty Podcast. Left before we get out of here, ESPN, our guy Jordan Reed, good friend of mine, man. I came into the business with him and simultaneously over at ESPN, and hopefully we can get him on. He has to get like 10 approvals to be on the podcast. It's like crazy.
You know how that go.
But he released his he replaced Todd McShay, and he released the way too early mock draft for 2024. I had to talk to him for some reason. He has the Carolina Panthers winning some games, and meaning that their pick is going to be number 10. I disagree. I think their pick is going to be around 5, 6. He also has the Bears not winning a lot because he has the Bears as the 11th pick. I had to have a discussion with him about that as well.
He knows y'all not winning against Kirk Cousins, man.
Slack off, bro. That slack off. Be cool. But Notre Dame does have someone going 7th overall to the Green Bay Packers. And they're going to face, if I'm not mistaken, I believe 5 first-round picks in this mock draft during the schedule. They face 2 defensive linemen when they face Ohio State. Of course, they face the number 2 pick, wide receiver Marvin Harrison Jr. They face the number 1 overall pick and quarterback Caleb Williams. Then we go to the teams, and we see that they face Emeka Ibuka, wide receiver from Ohio State. They will also face Michael Hall Jr., defensive tackle from Ohio State. They will also face Donovan Jackson, offensive guard from Ohio State. And where's JT at? JT Tuamaloa, defensive lineman from Ohio State as well. So that's 5. Let me see if I'm missing someone that's on the Notre Dame schedule. Jeremiah Trotter, linebacker from Clemson. And also Graham Burton, offensive tackle from Duke. So that's 7 players, 7 projected first-round picks that Notre Dame will be facing on its schedule this year.
That sounds about right every year. That's what I'm saying. I've played against probably every great player that's in the league now or played with them.
Yeah.
Played against Ramsey and Winston and played with Jalen and played against Ezekiel Elliott and Michael Thomas and the Bosa brothers and Trevor Lawrence and Deshaun
Mm-hmm.
Watson, all the guys you see in cooking today, Notre Dame must have some indirect or direct experience with them. Christian McCaffrey, the
Yeah.
only people we didn't play against was hell. We played Leonard Fournette,
Yeah.
played against pretty much everybody. The only people we didn't play against was like Lamar Jackson at Louisville, but we played Louisville, just not with when they had the receiver Mike the receiver that played for the Dolphins for a long time at Louisville. Receiver that went to Miami, played for the Dolphins a long time. He's still there.
Oh man, I know you're talking about. Did he just get moved though?
He probably got moved, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And then we played against, obviously the best receivers of the day. We played against LSU. We played against everybody. So the only people we ever played against was like Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
And the Bama player. Well, we played against Bama. I wasn't there, but we played against Bama too. A couple times. Eddie Lacy, Mari Cooper,
Mm-hmm.
DJ Flukner.
Yeah.
So Notre Dame is gonna run the game. Like that's the other benefit, exclusivity. You're gonna see if you a big dog or not going to Notre Dame because you're gonna play all the biggest.
And I want to return you to we talked about Justin Scott and the development thing. Remember that?
Yeah. Devontae Parker, that's what it is. Yeah.
Right? 2 projected first round picks on that defensive line for Ohio State.
Mike Hall, we saw him last year.
Michael Hall wrecked the offensive line for Notre Dame last year at least 3 times. He wrecked plays.
That's why he's first round. Why do you think he's first round?
Exactly.
Get it to Notre Dame.
JT on the very first play hit Tyler Buckner dead in his chest, but he completed the pass to Lorenzo Styles. He wrecked plays that entire game. Let's go down to the 18th pick projected.
Yeah, we played against the number 2 pick and the number 10 pick quarterback and receiver at Ohio State. First game last year.
Defensive tackle Chris Jenkins from Michigan. Somebody else that was in the final, 2 for Justin Scott. They have a first round defensive tackle. Mike Elson is like, yo.
Look who we got.
So, this first round projection stuff is very important in recruiting. It will always be very important in recruiting, especially to top players. And hopefully, the new director of scouting will help because he is a liaison. It's not just about scouting and getting good players to Notre Dame. He's also a liaison to the pro scouts to let the pro scouts know what Notre Dame has.
Yeah.
That's part of his job as the director of scouting. Not only to scout talent for Notre Dame, but to be a proper liaison for what Notre Dame has. And to shine the light on that talent and get that attention. And get ESPN, these prognosticators, and these mock draft gurus to pay attention. Hey, pay attention to Jason Onyé this year.
Yeah.
So going into next year, he could be projected in the first round. Pay attention to Benjamin Morrison. First round, next year, he needs to be there. We need 2 or 3 guys projected in the first round next year.
Yeah, facts. Think about how easy it is for Georgia. They can roll out the top 10 players, 3 are from Georgia, 4 from Georgia. Undefeated 2 years in a row. Back-to-back championships. All first-round defense. All first-round whatever.
Yeah.
That's an easy sale for the next 10 years. That's how Alabama's dynasty got started.
Yeah.
All-time great defense, and everybody started going, and then they just
Here's a question for you, Left. And someone left a similar question after one of the shows recently. And you're back, man. This is up your alley. Someone says, "Where's the alums?" And when it comes to closing
Because
on kids,
the front office, it's a weird dynamic.
mm,
They don't take action until you complain, i.e., the Justin Scott situation. It wasn't until it was soured, then they started paying attention to people outside of the program. So for alumni like myself, there's been plenty of guys. I got 226 kids right now that are top linemen and top defensive player in the class of 26 that wants to go to Notre Dame. Tell them about it. Oh, yeah, yeah. But that's why it's too late. The front office doesn't like to give credit to nobody but the front office. So if they don't hear about a recruit first or the recruit's not on their radar, they don't respect an alumni to bring them a recruit. They don't. Not until it becomes a message board where they catch a winner, they not doing their job well enough, or so it's a thing where it's like, okay, if they respected the alumni's opinions towards the kids, maybe it would be a bigger benefit for the alumni that have been successful. Like Todd Light, come on, Todd Light should have been Dion before Dion. Come on, man. Todd Light coaching back at his alma mater where he was a first-round national champion, Super Bowl winner, Hall of Fame, College Football Hall of Fame this year. He's your DB coach, and we're not pulling the top recruits in the how? How? That's why Notre Dame alumni ain't involved. What you mean? We got one on the staff. No better to model your game after. All the wealth of knowledge that the man got to be a first-round national champion and a Super Bowl champion is right there on this alumni. And we didn't have the number one DB at any point. We got guys drafted, Troy Pride, Jalen Elliott, Dante Vaughn got into the league, Julian Love a little bit, Cole Luke. But none of them was, well, Julian Love pretty good. What do you go, first, second round, something like that? But that's all we can get out of Todd Light. So that's why the alumni is not as connected as it should be. But I think it's just a very prideful thing in that recruiting office. Them dudes they spend all day up there and they let a recruit slip, an obvious recruit slip. Chad Bowen probably spinning his wheels like, I'm here all day. How'd I miss that? They don't want to get no credit to no alumni that's, living in the region and the kid get the butt. It's just how it works. But I bet you what, Alabama don't have a problem with that. Alabama probably have a tip line, hotline. Call 1-800-Alabama if you got out there. We'll take it some serious consideration. We'll look at them. Because you know why? They got the stat. They got 80, 90 people there. They have a recruiting hotline service, a red phone sitting in the middle of the office for a potential guy on the map that, not a secret.
Super chat. You can answer this one because I'm tired of talking about it, Left. Justin Scott tells Michigan he's committed and then visits Ohio State and alters his choice. For someone who supposedly has been very slow and thoughtful in making the choice, I can't get my head around that. Thoughts? Well, first of all, let me clear something up. He didn't tell Michigan that he committed until after he visited Ohio State. So whoever told you that is not telling the truth. He contacted Hayes Fawcett, pretty much said this. After his Ohio State visit, he was contacted by Justin Scott and told, create a Michigan commitment poster. He then went home, and as he told Lucky Lefty and Irish Breakdown, he was going to take the week to talk to his coaches and his family
and we can
about his
keep it,
decision.
and we can keep it even more simple than that. These are
And,
kids.
and, and he talked to him about his decision and he changed his mind.
This
It's
is,
as
but it's
simple as
kids.
that.
These are kids. This is why you don't see a president being 18 years old. They can be swayed and impressed on any type of way. That's why the recruiting so crazy. These kids
Absolutely.
18, 17 years old. Hell, he went somewhere else the next day. It's a kid. So this is why kids drink till they one. It's why you can't be president till you're 45. It's like right up till 25 anyway. Because when you're this impressionable, you can't lean on your decision. That's why
Facts.
damn near the best schools recruit last minute. What
Facts.
you mean? They're like, we ain't gonna spend hundreds of thousands of dollars in January of your junior year
Mm-hmm.
because we know that you gonna run 50 million different ways because it's hot, it's attractive. You don't have no ties to it. You don't pay no bills at home. This don't mean this is a free bag of money. But when it gets time to where you got to make one of the few hard decisions in your life this early, or where you want to go to school, that's when we put our gas in. Because now I know you can't go nowhere, so you got to decide, and clearly we got the best choice. So if we just hot
Mm-hmm.
in, slam dunk, Justin Scott, what you think Ryan Day was waiting for? He was like, man, let me get close to this date, and then that's when he wanted to decide. I'm gonna just swoop right on in, hit him with my knockout.
Yep.
And as a kid, he gonna look at that and be like, damn, they do got Larry Johnson. Damn, they do have Chase. Damn, they do got a top D line class. Yeah, I like Notre Dame and all the great stuff they've been selling me, but let's just keep it real. That's Larry Johnson. That's
Mm-hmm.
easy league. I can see the vision a lot more clearly than I can see it at Notre Dame when they had
And
nobody first round, nobody, the legendary coach. It's easy. It's a kid.
this is what people are trying to figure out what happened with him instead of trying to figure out what happened with the recruiting effort of Notre Dame.
Yeah.
I don't give a darn about Ohio State and Michigan and how that decision came about. Notre Dame dropped the ball
Yeah.
horrifically.
Horrifically.
That's it.
But it's not dropping the ball. It's the way our practices are set up. This is how we've always recruited.
Well, then that's
You can't,
dropping
you
the
can't,
ball in 2023 left.
you
And
cannot
it's not about look, Justin Scott when he left his Michigan visit made the decision that he was going to Michigan.
we
He
dropped
did
the ball
not
on Peyton Bowen though,
he
too.
did not officially no, Peyton Bowen was a liar.
In
Dude. I'm
terms of
not
in terms of in terms
no.
of
That is apples and oranges. That ain't no.
I was trying to make
Hell,
a point. Okay.
hell no. I'm sorry. I had to go to the HE double hockey sticks for
AG
that
double
one.
hockey sticks on that one.
No, Peyton Bowen is a bad example.
Okay.
Bad example. I would never fault Notre Dame for that. Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
Justin Scott made his personal decision after the Michigan visit that that's where he wanted to go. He did not inform Michigan until after his Ohio State visit, which at the same time he also informed Notre Dame. Everybody found out at the same time, officially. He told me that night he was going to, even though he had made his choice, he was going to spend the next week, the off week that his coaches had with his parents, to make sure that that was what he wanted to do. So I don't know how much thoughtful you want a kid to be in recruiting. I just don't. And like Left said, at the end of the day, he's a kid. He's a kid. It's simple for me, right? Because like I said, people, they want to grab the low-hanging fruit of NIL. Michigan offered them NIL. They got just as much money as Ohio State. What's the point? So if Michigan offered him NIL, Georgia definitely offered him NIL, and Miami offered him NIL. So he said no to the higher NIL bids and chose to stay closer to home and chose the defensive line coach that's better and chose defensive players in his recruiting class at his position that are better than Notre Dame and Michigan have recruited to this point, which is the number 3 defensive end. He's the number 3 defensive tackle, and he also had the number 5 defensive tackle. In the same class. This is what he's looking at. And people are sitting there, oh, that's the only reason he could have chosen Ohio State is NIL. No. 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 You have to bring in great players to attract great players. Cam Williams is in the 24 class because C.J. Carr is the quarterback.
That's right.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jack Larson is in the 24 class because C.J. Carr is the quarterback. Aeneas Williams committed to Notre Dame because C.J. Carr is the quarterback. It's just really good players want to play with other really good players. It's as simple as that. The great example, Keon Keeley, you know why it was tough? You know why it was tough for him to lead the Notre Dame class left?
Loyalty.
He knew Notre Dame had some other really good defensive players in the class.
Yeah, because we had Peyton Bourne at the time.
Keon Keeley wasn't feeling like he didn't have other great players to play with. He knew they had Drake. He knew they had Christian. He knew that they had Peyton at the time. His relationship with Brendan Vernon, as Ryan Roberts wrote about when they went to the All-American game in San Antonio, they were like best brothers. They hung out and went everywhere all week. He believed in the defensive class. He just believed in Alabama's development a little bit better. That's it. That's it. So at some point, and it looks like they're doing it in the 25 class, at some point, you're going to have to get really good players and get those elite players to say, okay, I want to play with that dude. Yeah, I want to play with that dude. I want to play with that dude. And
it is what it is.
Dude, Indy cheat sheet. If you think Justin Scott was going to sit behind Kurt Hinish and Gabriel Rubio and Devin Houston, you're out of your mind. You're out of your mind.
Kurt Hinish.
You're out of your mind. We just talked about the 2 players that are in the first round mock draft for Ohio State. It took them their second year to pop. Year 2. Nobody's sitting 2 to 3 years. Player like that plans to be in college 3 years and gone. That's it.
Like Jay Tillery.
Yeah, he's not. No. And I guarantee you the coaches at Ohio State gave him a plan. Year 1, year 2, year 3 to the draft.
And I guarantee you we had no idea. Man, we would never do nothing like that.
And we sit up here talking about he's going to sit 2 to 3 years behind who?
He probably saw what they did to Tobias and was like, ain't happening to me. I ain't about to be hit with the
man. I hope cheat sheet. I hope that's not what they sold him on. I hope they didn't tell him he's gonna sit 2-3 years behind. Man, no, I didn't take it out of context. I'm just saying. I hope, man. It goes to the point though.
That's like saying he's sitting behind Micah Dutreadway, Brandon Tiassum, and
man.
The other one.
Man.
All at one time? No.
I get look, I don't care what they say. Tyson Ford needs to see the field this year.
Yeah, he got to get on the field. He's too big. Shit.
Too big of a prospect. You got to play. If we're developing NFL defensive linemen, he has to play. He has to play. Snead should have played before he did at the end of last year. When you have to play. Man, I thought that's the question of the day, left. Notre Dame is just a quarterback away from what? Notre Dame is just a quarterback away from what? You fill in the blank. Fill in the blanks, LL Nation. No, cheat sheet. We're right there with you. And that goes back to not unveiling a plan. And dude, don't go out. You didn't stir any pot. It's just,
Here's what it is.
Yeah, it wasn't. Him being at Ohio State really isn't that hard, man. It's really not that hard to figure out. It's not. Heck, the reason he chose Michigan initially isn't that hard to figure out.
Another dude.
Right, Aiden Hutchinson, just the line of dudes that just went. These are the dudes that just went to the draft. It's not hard. Sinke said a spot away from just quarterback, away from challenging for a playoff spot in the Natty. David Solomon says relevance.
Yeah, 2 more wins is relevance. Shit, 3 more wins is relevance. Being
Matt D said a quarterback away from being a serious contender for the playoffs. Coach Vic says the Final Four. But cheat sheet, thank you for making that point, though. Like, come on, man. Like Peyton Bowen, if Peyton Bowen's on this roster, hey,
yeah,
Xavier, somebody, he's on your neck. He's on your neck. Man, you don't get talent like that unless you're Alabama, where you just stop with talent.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Then you can save Dallas Turner to week 10 in his freshman year. You know,
play him them 4 games to save his red shirt type.
Yeah, you can save Will Anderson until the end of his freshman year. And you stop piling talent like that. Notre Dame, they get a talent like that. Hey, man.
Play today, shit.
Let's go. Lucky Ducky Podcast. Great show. Thank you, everybody that tuned in. We gave you 2 hours. You already know what time it is. I'm about to go watch some dreadful White Sox baseball, though.
Jesus.
Petticoat. Petticoat Junction.
It's time to get petty.
Oh, we did a good job executing.
Are you upset with something?
And fire up the Petticoat Junction train.
I just don't like you.
You don't?
No.
What is today's petty history? Petty Junction.
Petty Junction, petty story of the day brought to you by Onora Whiskey and NoraWhiskey.com, that premium American whiskey and NoraWhiskey.com. Security guards, you need to relax. Britney Spears was trying to get number 1 overall pick in the NBA draft. Mr. Wembanyama's attention as she was nearby him, and tapped him on the shoulder and caught a nice backhanded elbow from security.
Yeah.
When security realized who she was allowed to say something, but security, relax. He hasn't done anything yet, bro. Like,
Yeah,
no one's trying to kill him yet.
That's right.
Like, he hasn't made anyone lose money yet in Vegas. Relax. No one has lost a prop bet on him yet.
All right.
Chill. Like, just chill, man. Left, I would like to bring your attention to one of my favorite young baseball players for the Cincinnati Reds, Mr. De La Cruz, who played in a baseball game last night. He has a special to order bat where the actual handle comes apart. And it's never been seen before, but it was approved by Major League Baseball. And he's one of the few players that uses it, left. So in the first inning of the game against the Washington Nationals, he detached the bottom, did something, and Davey Martinez didn't know what it was, so he had the umps check his bat. Now, I probably would have been a little bit upset, left. I'm going to keep it funky.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're trying to embarrass me. You're trying to check my back.
Yeah.
You know what he did in the 5th inning?
What did he do?
Let me see if I thought I had the video left. I guess not. I can show it from my Twitter, though. Yeah, this is probably the pettiest move you're going to see.
Yeah.
But I love it. I love it. He comes up in the 5th inning, and this is what he does, love.
We love it.
He hits the home run. He turns to the ump, points to the handle, and throws it to him and says, "You can check it again."
Yeah, straight up.
Go ahead. Check it.
Yeah. Yeah, don't disrespect.
I love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it, bro.
Yeah.
Man. Showed everybody up. Here. Check that. Last but not least, Darius Dalton. I believe that's his name. The boyfriend and father of a child with
Keke Palmer.
Keke Palmer. My brother. Come on, bruh. Now, granted, look, hey, you know what? We can just put it on display, love. Okay? Keke Palmer was being serenaded by Usher.
That Boondocks episode is true, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is what she wore. There are children in the room. Remove them right now. That's Keke Palmer to the left. She's being serenaded by Usher, as you can see. And look at Usher, it's like, ooh. Now, her baby father didn't like it. He didn't like it. Left. If you didn't like it, cool. Instagram, fam? You run to Instagram?
That's how people do it. Run to Instagram.
And then, this is me, left. Because I love when people bring up morals at a certain point.
Picking and choosing.
Like, now, yeah, high morals. But when you was shooting the club up and she wasn't married, you didn't care about morals. You don't care.
People picking and choosing, man.
You didn't care about impregnating her before entering a full committed relationship. Yeah, and that's not a problem. You make that choice. My point is, don't all of a sudden hit the high moral thing when you live in life. Last I checked, Keke Palmer's been dressing like this. There was a clip of her going in New York, going to shoot a TV show with you holding the baby, walking behind her with a dress that she could hardly walk in. She never stopped dressing like this. You're just mad because you weren't there. And because that cat Usher was singing to her.
Can't sing like Usher, man.
No. But why would you run to Instagram? And you thought you were going to get support publicly?
It's Generation Z, man. That's what they do.
And then, how is that going to play out when she gets home?
On Instagram.
So Usher took the same stuff and put it on his IG story today. Just petty.
Of course.
Usher went super petty.
Of course.
He was like, his whole IG story today is the same video.
You can't react to it, man. It's just gonna make it look worse on you, man. Just gotta let it roll off your shoulders.
Look, man. I don't know about you. I'm 30 years into my relationship. I encourage my wife when she goes on girls' trips to look darn good.
Same here.
Man.
The same
Represent me.
Yeah, I've encouraged that she goes and looks good, you know.
Darn right.
I never say they look bad. I'm like, look,
and post the pictures on IG.
Post them. Yeah, I love it. I've never had a problem with it. And you know, it does make everybody look better. So
man, 2-piece, whatever. Post it.
Yeah, you look good, girl. Shit.
Especially now she's been putting in mad work in the gym.
Yeah, you know, and you can't let other people, you know, try to. I think for him, he let other people get to him about their opinions of it.
Some of his cousins hit him, didn't they? Like,
yeah, cousins, people hit him like, yo, you gonna do this and that. And he responded to them for what they thought instead of what he felt. And I'm sure she's like, dang, you never said this before. Yeah, because nobody was talking to me. That's why people talking to me now. You know, so he don't really care. Man. Well, he shouldn't care. You should be supportive, you know.
My man, your pettiness has only grown and produced further pettiness.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You gotta let it die out, bro.
You might want to reel it back in, but it's too late.
Too late.
It's too late. Because that kind of Usher is on the petty train today.
Yeah. He wasn't gonna post it till you made it worse, you know.
Man. So You need to tell your cousins to mind their business.
Tell your people mind your business, bro.
All right. And if, like I said, if your mama and your daddy were embarrassed because they're church going members and they don't think it's a good look, was it a good look when you shot a club up? That's what I'm interested in. That's where do these morals come from? You out in these streets, you a mama. What? So is my wife. She's a mother. What's your point? I'm trying to understand. What does her having to be a mother have to do with looking good?
Yeah. Can't let people get in your own head about your own feelings,
Man.
Have you wilding out.
Like you said, well, as Usher said, let it burn.
Yeah, facts.
We're out of here. See you tomorrow. We'll dig in. I think Cam McDaniel is going to try and join us. He's on vacation. So if he doesn't join us, we're going to push the running backs preview back until Monday.
That's right.
And he'll hop on with us because I'm interested. He's really going to dive into he said he's going to do some more research, but he has some interesting stuff to talk about Jadarian Price's return from the Achilles injury and the work he's been doing. Right. So if we don't do running backs tomorrow, we'll do wide receivers left, okay?
That sounds good.
Great show. Apple Podcast, Spotify, CAB Nation. Lock in. We'll holla.